Hello everybody, how you doing? It's wee Paddy here back at the table and you're very, very welcome back to the channel. And I make no apologies. I'm going to have a little bit of a Wright Ashley Harrison. Just a talk on why they mean so much to me and why I think if you start collecting them, you can make an amazing collection. And they don't have to be expensive. Yes, you can get the Ashley Harrison customs every now and then. And if they were there every minute of the day, Ashley would get no sleep. Because even when you're getting a knife from Arthur Wright, you know, here's a little electric from Arthur Wright. This is going to have Ashley's hands all over it because he works in the shop. And he makes the Arthur Wright knives along with young Beth and his dad. They muck in together as a threesome and they make all the knives. This one's a lovely buffalo horn. Just a lovely little electric. Not much feathering in this, but again, these knives are, you know, £40 roughly. Let's just say for most of the knives, £40. The odd one dear and the odd one cheaper. But they are very affordable knives that are handmade. And but most of the time you're going to have Ashley and Beth making them at the minute because Michael has so much other stuff to do now with the company. But he does join in and he makes the knives as well. But so you've got three people there. So how close to custom can you get? Because they're all using their hands. You know, this is not machinery made knives. They're all made by hand. So true traditionally made knives. And one of the very few companies that does it now in the whole of the knife world. So that's the big thing for me. The other thing is for why I like them so much and why I promote them so much. And let's get the things out of the way. Am I a shill? No, I'm not a shill. I do get a discount off the knives that I buy. I get a discount off the knives I buy. Usually, not all the time, but usually I'll get a little bit of it, especially from Ashley. Ashley's very good to me on the custom knives. But these knives are so cheap that I'm quite happy to pay full price for a lot of them, the Arthur Wrights, and we'll talk about them as we go along. I don't want anything off them. But Ashley does give me a few pounds off the custom knives that he makes me. And there's never been a discussion. We've never discussed how much to get off. We've never discussed if I'm going to get anything off. So I always think of full price, and most of the time I get it at a reduced price. So that's it. I'm not a shill for this company. I just genuinely appreciate handmade knives made in that traditional, the traditional way. There's no shortcuts taken. These are traditionally made. Yes, they use some modern, I was going to say some modern machinery, but there's not even modern machinery in the shop. Even the drills are about 70, 80-year-old. So, and we're going to see that soon when we do a live. We're going to go over, me, Justin and Mikey, we're going to head over and do a full video, probably a 3-parter on what it's like to get a knife made from Arthur Wright and where they make them, where the stores are like, what's in them. We're going to get a whole insight into Arthur Wright knives and why we need to buy these, you know, to keep this company going, to keep it going, because it's hard work for not a huge, well, you've seen by the prices, about 40 quid for your average little knife from Arthur Wright. That's not a lot of money for somebody making it by hand. Literally making it by hand. I keep emphasizing that because there's lots of traditional makers out there now, but they're using modern machinery, modern facilities to make the knives. And there's nothing wrong with that. I collect them as well. But this is hands-on, hands-on. And I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of some of the ones that I've got and why I choose some certain knives. I mean, this one is my little star. This is just a beautiful double-ended bolster, a round and a square cap. I love that. It's got that beautiful, beautiful fishy bone stuff, shell stuff on it. Can't think of the bloody name of it now. But abalone. Yes, the abalone shelly stuff. The abalone, and this has got a clip point. And if you ever wanted to see what sort of a clip point gives me the fizz, that's it. That is a just complete fizz to me. I love that clip point shit. I love this fat part here. I love it because that's where most of your work's going to get done here. And I love having that meat behind. I love the tip. I love the belly. And I just love the straight bit here where you're going to get your work done. All beautifully done. And to me, because there's so many different styles of clip point, but to me, that is a typical Arthur Wright clip point, which I adore. I absolutely love it. So that's my favourite blade shape as a clip point. Is it the one I use the most? No, because I use most of these. And most of these knives are all used. Some of them you'll see have more wear on than others, and they're the knives that I carry about the most. I mean, this was a birthday gift from Justin, and this is my take on or Justin's take on a Lanny's clip. Look at that blade. That's a typical Lanny's clip blade. I just think it is stunning. Absolutely stunning. A beautiful knife. Have I used this hard yet? No, but I have used it. I just haven't. A lot of the ones you'll see as we're going on, I've used to eat food with and things like that. This hasn't had this. And it's 01 tool steel. It doesn't stain as easy as 1095 or the lower end carbon steel blades. But just the workmanship that goes into this. It's a good blade stock. It comes down to a really nice tip. I mean, this will do everything anybody wants, and you get a full 4 fingers on this one. You know, it's bigger than the average. Let me just lift one out here. There's an average size. Well, it's not actually. It's a bit bigger, but this is an Ashley custom as well. This is the Barlow. You can see just how much bigger than the Barlow this is. It's a proper big work knife, and I love it. It has a really crazy strong pull on it, which again, I love. But it is, you know, it's a good half an inch longer overall than the ordinary Ashley Barlow. I haven't got, let me just see. I'll just get you one out here. This is a normal Arthur Wright Barlow. I'll just get you this one out. Great pull on that. Absolutely one of my favourite knives. So Ashley Barlow, let me just see the size. I've never actually done this. Would you believe that? No, Ashley Barlow here is about the same size as this. This is a normal Barlow. Really beautiful. Slightly different than the one up there. Each pattern has come slightly different. And especially as well between Ashley and the Arthur Wrights. But I mean, this is another one, and this is one of my most used ones. I just adore this. It's a spay blade, the one that everybody hates, and I absolutely love, especially the big fat spay blade here. This is a great squirrel skinner, rabbit skinner. It's just a gorgeous big knife with a trapper handle on it. So it is, again, that full 4 finger for power cuts, whatever you want to do. But again, really good backspring on this as well. Love the strong backspring. And that's what you tend to get with a lot of Arthur Wright knives. You get an incredibly strong backspring. And when you want a work knife, this was my first custom knife from Ashley a few years ago now. I just adore this. Absolutely adore this. This is a sheep's foot, and it is a full sheep's foot. You can do as much power work as you like, but it also has that delicate swedge in the end of this one, and all Ashley swedges are different. It's just a super knife. This one's in bone. Nothing fancy about it. And the knives that I tend to use a lot are the ones that I don't have. I don't have a lot of these fancy back springs. I do like them. I love them. I mean, this one is probably the prettiest one I have ever had. This has Ashley's work and his father's chasing Michael up the centre. Really, really beautiful on the liners as well. It's just gorgeous. It really, everything about that knife is just quality. High quality too. Love it. So, I mean, the working knives, what other one would I use? This would be another working knife, the spear point, which, you know, as far as use goes, for me, it's clip point and then spear point. That's the two that I really like to use the most. This one was just one that Ashley was doing. He was trying out the Easy Open, I think, and he made a couple of these just trying it out and getting it where he wanted it. Beautiful whiskey barrel oak, I believe this one was. It's just a stunner, and it's probably one of my most used knives because I truly believe that the spear point, out of all knives, this is an Ashley one I've just recently got with the flat bolsters. This one has the green liners and all in it. But the difference, I mean, the two different knives, simply because of the blade shape. You can see this is a more substantial spear point than this. And then you can even come down to, this is a knife that Michael made me. And this is out of their, this is, I'm going to say they're lesser bone. They're not bone stag. It's the cheaper version of stag. Not a version. It's a cheaper stag to buy, this one. But again, look how thin. It's more like a long pen blade. But it's a spear point. And I love having them the different variations of blades. And I mean, there's stag. Let me just show you the stag. This is an Ashley Harrison custom stag. And this is just an Arthur Wright, their basic stag. It is just, I love them both for different reasons. This one has more life and body in it. You know, it's more live looking. And this is, you know, a quietened down stag, but it's still beautiful looking. Gives you amazing grip. You've got the swell on the end of this one. Just an amazing blade. And this one here actually is a lamb's foot, because it's slightly smaller here than it is here. And it is just slightly, but it just makes for a more substantial cutter. You can actually have, I mean, this is one of the old Arthur Wrights. This is just a plastic covering, but a lovely shield. Really lovely knife in perfect condition. A couple of tiny wee gaps wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But you can see the difference. The lamb's foot is more pronounced here. So if you need that more pronounced, I have this one and I can use it. And it's still as good today as it ever was. And don't forget, Arthur Wrights they only sort of started making knives as Arthur Wright in the middle part of the last century. So, you know, 1950s or 60s, I think it started up. But also with these, because you get Michael to make these, and he makes a lot of the Senator patterns, because he does that chasing up the back of them. Senator's one of the more expensive Arthur Wright models. But they also have Beth, and I'm very fortunate to have one of these. This is one of Beth's first knives she made and sold. I just adore this little knife, and it's not a knife shape that I gravitate to or I use a whole lot. But this is Beth's favorite shape, and I wanted hers. You can see her little. Look at that beautiful little Beth on there. There's not many of these out there, but they will come. They will come. You know, she's nearing the end of her apprenticeship, hopefully. And this is a Netric, you know, an unusual pattern, unusual blade, but I used this not so long ago for a few days, just used this as my only EDC knife, and it was not found wanting. I know it's a small blade. It's only about a 2-inch cutting, but this done everything I needed. All the boxes I needed cutting, everything. It just done the whole lot. So you get a great range of knife blades, and there's more, and I'm sure Michael over the time will bring more out. I got this one this year. It's the first time I've had it. Is the Tackler. Absolutely in love with this, and people find it hard to see the difference between it. I'm going to show you. This is a sheep's foot, and there's a Tackler. Can you see that? It's a more abrupt and comes down sharper. And then this is your lamb's foot, and it is much smaller, and it's got that rounded finish that the Tackler has, but you get a more precise tip on this than you do with the Tackler. So it's somewhere in between, and you could stick a Wharncliffe down there as well. I don't have a Wharncliffe, and it's not that I don't like Wharncliffes. I'd rather have a lamb's foot, to be honest with you, than a Wharncliffe. I don't know, there's something, I mean, there's a Wharncliffe shape. And let me just show you the Tackler. You can see that the Tacklers are much fatter, and it goes more longer to the end. The Wharncliffe starts lower back and comes right down to a point. I like this Tackler better, just for me. That's my personal choice. Or I like the little lamb's foot. There's a bit more meat behind the tip, and that's probably why I like it so much. So I don't have any larger knives. I don't have no. I mean, we must have to fix it. I'll maybe get Ashley to make me one if I can. When at his leisure. But yeah, maybe a nice Wharncliffe. Maybe I need to see the Arthur Wright Wharncliffe. I've never even inquired, but I thought, well, I should do that for the collection, shouldn't I? I'll see if I can get an Arthur Wright Wharncliffe so that I can compare it, you know, to their other knives. But the nice thing is you can get so many different varieties. I don't think Ashley had not made many of these till I asked him. I commissioned this one. And he's sold quite a few of them now, I believe. But it's just, you get something that really just gets into your soul. This knife, when I put it in hand, I feel like it's a big pocket knife. And it really is a big pocket. This, I would be afraid to do nothing. This one, and the spear down here are the ones that I use the most. I don't use that one quite as often. This one I very rarely use. This is a go-out fancy piece. I do use it about the house, but that would be about it at the moment. Tackler gets an awful lot of use now. I like carrying it. But this is what you've got here. If you live in the UK, it's on your doorstep. But even if you live abroad, in America now, they're sold in America now. May & Co., I think that's his name. I'll try and get that down in the description if I remember to put it in. But if anybody in the comments puts it up, I think it's May & Co. May & Company. I think that's it, not May. Oh, gosh. If I don't get it up there, somebody puts it up, I'll pin the comment. It's a company in America now. And it's all about pocket knives, but you go under there and the site's on there and you can buy them there for the same price as we pay for them here in the UK. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And he's selling them hand over fist. He gets big orders off them and they just go. So, don't hang about. Go and get them. And over here, the best place to get an Arthur Wright or an Ashley is to go to the famous Sheffield shop, which is an amazing shop. Jay and her staff there are so helpful, accommodating. They'll send them anywhere. No matter where you are, they'll send them. So don't worry. And also another shop that sells them in the UK regularly, along with other British knives, the Sheffield shop and the Cook shop. God, I've forgotten the name of it now. I am so bad. I'll put the names down below of the two shops. Go down in the descriptions. I'll go down in there. The name of the two shops will be down there. And James & Co. That's the one in America. James & Co. All about pocket knives. He sells direct. He gets their supply straight from Arthur Wright. And he is just a fantastic man to deal with. James & Co. That's that. So the James & Co. There's the Sheffield shop and the Bakewell Cook shop. There you go. I remembered all three. I am a genius. But I'm not going to take more of your time. This is just to show you that you can build a collection. And I've had more than this. And I've still got more in my drawers here that are just duplicates, maybe different handle materials and whatever. And I've given so many away to people that, the joy of getting, sometimes the joy of getting, especially these cheaper knives, that they're not that hard to give away, even if you haven't got, unlimited funds. And the joy of sometimes getting it and giving somebody one. That's the biggest joy of the lot. But these, to me, are my treasured. They all, even the basic £40 one, are my treasured knives. No matter about all my customs, these are the ones that give me the fizz because of my home country. And the same with Americans who rightly love their case and their, their Benchmades. This is me loving my home. This is me loving my home. And I have other British knives, which I'll do another video, some of the British knives that I've got that are customs and things that really do give me the fizz that we're all looking for. But there we go. That's it. Just another rabbit on from Paddy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing them all out there. And the reasons why I like different ones, because you get that different blade shape. Thickness is a big contributor to it. There's the three spears there. They're all different thicknesses, all roughly the same size in length, but the different thicknesses changes the knife dramatically from the thin one to the thickest one. So you can, this is a more meaty knife to use, but funnily enough, this is a more meaty knife to hold with a stag on it. It holds lovely, really does. And for more delicate tasks, maybe even a bit of carving, this would be perfect. So, just don't buy the one style unless you juice it up a wee bit. Get thinner, thicker blades. And when you're getting a custom from Ashley, you can ask him for a fat spear or a fat spay blade or even a fat sheep's foot. I mean, this is a really great, substantial sheep's foot. This is just an amazing worker as well. So I'm gone. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I'll put the name of the three places to get them. Please Go and support them. These are all small businesses trying to make an effort. And they don't just sell Arthur Wright and Ashley Harrison's. They also sell other Sheffield makers that are hand makers as well. So please get in there. And if you're from abroad, please just try them out. You'll be amazed how much you like them. You'll be amazed how much you like them. And just before I go, the blade steels. C75 carbon steel. I believe they do a stainless, a Sheffield stainless as well. But most people that I know get the carbon. I get the carbon. This one was in stainless steel, but I'm not sure. But it's the carbon I get. And then you get, if you get an Ashley Custom, his main blade steel that he uses is 01 tool steel. Either one of them two, I don't care. Do these last forever? The C75? No, but they sharpen at the drop of a hat. And so does, I find 01 tool steel easy to sharpen and strop. They both strop brilliantly. And that's what makes the price difference. If you start throwing on higher steel, they don't become traditional in my eyes, and you're paying an awful lot more money. There's no need to. There is absolutely no need to. For 99% of us, these steels are fantastic. Use them and find out. All right, bye now. Take care.